We played really hard. That was a physical football game. Things that we challenged. I was really pleased with the way we went about playing, and yeah, I was really pleased overall. Obviously, momentum shifted a little bit in the second half. We had a chance maybe to put the thing away, and we didn't. Settling for 2 field goals. And some things that got plenty to work on. I think our guys saw that yesterday and showed it to them. But a lot of good things to build on and make sure we can improve on this week before we get on the plane to Reno.
Did you get any more clarity on the targeting calls for Austin?
Yes, we did. We appealed both of those, and both appeals were denied. So both young men will have to sit out the first half, unfortunately.
I wanted to ask a bit about the logistics of this game with the time change and the late kickoff and the flight back, and how do you just kind of prepare for all that and grapple with those challenges?
Yeah, it's something we haven't had to do here for where, we're working through some different thoughts. Probably more, our players will adjust well. I just hope I can stay away long enough, for the end. But yeah, we're going to look at how we're going to shift our day a little bit as we start to travel, and playing these night games will help us some, but push our meetings back a little bit when we get there, and then how we wrap up the evening. Let them sleep a little bit longer in the morning. We're going to stay in Reno after the game. Otherwise, we'd get back here, really, what Michael said, like Michael Painter, about 9 in the morning or 6 in the morning, something like that. It'd be pretty tough with no sleep. So we're gonna let them get some sleep, eat breakfast there, and then get back here. And then we'll have to practice Sunday evening because we're trying to get that changed as well through the NCAA. But if by staying, they're making it count as our day, which is really tough because it's going to change in college football. Why we don't change the rule right now, I don't know any understanding. We say we do all these things for the players, but we don't. All we want to do is get them up, get them a good night's sleep in their bed, get them back, give them the rest of the day off. But right now the rule in the Autonomy 5 doesn't allow us to do that. So we will have to come back, practice on Sunday, and then give them Monday off like we are today. And we're hoping that'll allow us to kind of have a normal week for the following week. So those are the 2 biggest things that we're working on right now with the time change. It'll be a 9:30 local time kickoff, but that's kind of where we're sitting. We're going to look at it a little bit more this afternoon as well.
And just generally speaking, I mean, there's a few more of these West Coast trips coming up in the years ahead, in Hawaii and all that. Just how much do you take this into account when scheduling?
Time change, they're going to be conference games. I mean, like I say, this is that and Friday games and weeknight games are going to be part of what we do. We're at Buffalo. We played in Reno, so we've had to do that, and crossing 2 time zones. That's why I'm saying, like West Virginia, UCF, for them to go make those trips and what it's going to do, it's going to be part of your logistics. You see it in the National Football League as well, the staggering of our kickoff times already between 11 to 36, and now you're going to have a later slot as well. It's going to play part, but once you build a template of what you want to do, mainly your Friday and your Saturday schedule, you just kind of slowly modify it from there. I was thinking as I'm talking, Jonathan Wallace, who played at Auburn. I think they played. Would they play Cal or somebody?
Yeah.
I think he had talked to somebody. I think they got back. Now they went out Thursday, I guess, but went back right after the game. Got back. They're the ones that got back at 9 in the morning. So it's tough, but it's not so much maybe you're worried about the after effects, and that's what we're trying to look at as well.
I'm curious, I want to talk about JB Brown a little bit.
Mhm.
You saw him play a couple different positions. Just what have you thought of his first 2 games for you guys?
I think he's played very well. Obviously, he's got a lot to work on yet and things, but he's making contributions like we thought he could, and was solidified in some of those thoughts of through the spring and fall camp. And that's why you saw him kind of line up in some different spots as well as he continues to grow. And we need Taiwan back healthy, but again, you can see when that we get both those guys on the field at the same time as well as others, it's going to help our defense.
Yeah, you mentioned Taiwan there, and you also mentioned it being a physical game with Illinois. Just health-wise, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, yesterday we were out there a little bit. Jalon did very little. Luke did very little. Devin did very little. We're gonna. Today will be a good day for those guys, and hopefully we can get some guys back. And that's probably what you expect, and we'll have some more of these as we go. So hopefully this extra day is going to pay off what we hoped it would do. But Taiwan did a little bit more. I hope he's we can get him back. But Luke might be one that'll be. Luke and Devin are probably maybe the ones more in question. I hope Jalon's able to do more. Jason took all the team reps at quarterback yesterday.
And obviously, first road trip of the year. I think the non-conference rules allow you to take more guys.
Yeah.
Have you established how many you want to take and what kind of?
We've been to the non-conference, even to the hotel. We've been in the mid 70s, upper 70s, maybe out of the 70s, the limit. Obviously, you could take a few guys there. You may get a chance on some special teams and that. So we'll look at the health, but I would imagine we'll travel in that number, if maybe not even a little higher, just based on maybe health and opportunity.
Coach, you talked about Buffalo and elevation playing out at Reno. Buffalo's like 600 feet above sea level, Lawrence 991, Reno 4505. What does the elevation mean to players that you've been through that?
Somebody asked that just the other day. I think it'll play a little effect. I'd like to think, the way our August camp is gone, I think some other things, we've been challenged pretty good here in some ways. I can, we were in the second year of building here. We weren't as good as we had hoped, and we were a 2-10 football team that year, so we had other things to worry about other than elevation. But I think we'll be able to handle that, and again, we're rotating at so many positions. Hopefully that'll allow us also to stay in good shape there. That was something probably a thing we'll discuss a little bit more with our training and medical staff this week.
What are your thoughts on some of the things that Nevada brings to the table?
Well, they're in this. Coach Wilson's in his second year. Putting his stamp on the program. That was a program when Jay Norvell was head coach, went to Colorado State. With the rules, a lot of players followed along and took a chunk of that roster, and they've been implementing fair amount of transfers back in, probably to get some older help and depth there. And they had a tough game last week against Idaho, which on paper can look a certain way, but Idaho's a FCS playoff team. They opened the year with USC, so we've got to go and make sure, first of all, that we play our best and stay focused on the areas that we've got to get better at. You see a lot of athleticism. I'll probably say it a lot. We got some good, sometimes, and notice Nevada's been a program that's had success in the past. Proximity to California, the California junior colleges, and opportunities of that nature. You can get a guy that's extremely athletic at certain positions, make you miss type of guys, but maybe not always hitting the measurables for everyone else at the Power 5 level, and they get a chance to make some plays. They're playing 2 quarterbacks. They're taking some vertical shots down the field at times and with some accuracy. So again, we've got to be able to, much like I talked about last week, which I'll probably say week in and week out, we've got to be consistent of establishing a line of scrimmage and making teams one-dimensional offensively, and making sure that we can stay as multiple as we've been to execute everything we want to. Yes?
How has Jalon Daniels, like the effect on his being back, impacted the team and the fan environment?
Well, you can see the excitement, from the fan base. Even the first game when he didn't play, when his name was set on over the speakers and his picture on the video board. When he took the field, there's that extra excitement. And then of course you see what he's able to do on the field, whether it be carrying the ball or making a throw or escaping a safety, and making a big play happen for us. He has that type of spark. Same way he is in the locker room and where he is for this football team when he steps in the huddle. So great to have him on the field again in a game like that. And again, we're going to need a healthy Jalon Daniels throughout this season.
You mentioned having the ability to be able to finish those games where you get up big early. What do you think are the keys to having almost that type of killer instinct?
Yeah, and I don't want to say that we let off. I mean, when you really look at it, I haven't even sent any calls because I don't know if we had a Big Ten crew, so I don't even know if it's even worth having our people look at them. But I mean, the push in the back, blocking the back by Mason was very, I don't know. I don't even know if it impacted the play, I guess, is my thing, whether or not they did say he lost contact and then reestablished on the back. So, otherwise we score and then it's different there. And just a couple things that I didn't sense a letdown. I want to make sure, because sometimes you get ahead and the sideline gets a little loose and there's some things there. I didn't sense that per se. And then you take, the 2 targeting calls, and I think there was one other one in there too that kind of hurt us, that we just lost that really good momentum and flow that we had. And then also, I don't know if you felt it, but then the reviews happen and all that stuff. The whole flow of the game just kind of, all that we had going, just even through that had really kind of took it away. So, but again, intensity and keeping those things of what we have to do is important. I guess the other ones I didn't mention, of course, was we turned the ball over and Lawrence's fumbles. It's not a it's a good hit, but we got to do better on ball security and then their interception. So again, we are trying to make plays happen. I don't think that was by losing intensity, but again, those are going to be great learning moments, that it's going to be a 4-quarter ball game each and every game as we carry through this season.
I got a couple quick ones. I know it's just a half for Kobe and Booker, but when you look at this depth chart, it's juniors and seniors and juniors and seniors all over the place, especially with Grimm sliding in there. I mean, how much does that help? So you don't have to worry about missing those guys too much for that half.
It does. I mean, you always, when starters aren't available, it's kind of like game 1 with a quarterback, and last week with Taiwan, and it's kind of the way fall camp really went, guys. I mean, there were a lot of days where I still don't know if our defense is lined up 5 consecutive days really with everybody out there. And but you mentioned, Kalen Gervin's played a lot of football. Quentin Lassiter's, has made some plays for us. We like some of the other younger corners that are, B.J. Dilworth. Demarius McGee's been kind of struggling with a back issue as well. We're trying to hope so. We do have guys that can go out there and play, and if you can weather the storm of those guys not being out there, it just adds to your depth and confidence as you move along when guys get those chances. We've said all along, we've been rotating, we've had 8 defensive ends take reps at different times. So, but Austin played a really fine football game for us. He really did, and he's starting to show up and get that confidence now that he's been on the field consistently, and we're going to miss that in that first half.
And then with Luke Grimm, just, obviously he's fighting through whatever he's fighting through and he's out there. And what do you make of him just as a receiver in general? I mean, he's tough, he's physical, he's small, he's scrappy, all those things. I mean, what do you like most about what he brings, and you probably can count on him being out there even if he is limited all week? He's just that kind of guy.
All the things you just said.
Yeah, right.
He's got he has experience and understanding. I think he's really you say that everything that gets knocked against him is what makes him good. He's not he uses that chip on his shoulder quite well. He's not the biggest, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but yet he's the guy that's going to show up making plays at the most important times because of that. But I think his 2+ years with us now is he's got a real good understanding of the offense and what to do to get open, and how and his skill set really fits some of the things we like to do. And his availability would be questionable in this game right now, and the guys were just talking this morning about some route concepts. Well, that's kind of what Luke, that was kind of one that Luke's done, and will he be available to do it? Who else is going to do that, and those type of things. But he's got the mature confidence now that he understands, and we got to be smart on how we practice him, but. Again, that's the other thing we've talked about. To be really honest, is you look at between Jalon and Jason, and then you take Luke being limited, you lose that timing and working that you need during the week, and we've got to find a way to get through that, because eventually that's going to cost us. We've got to continue to work through those things.
To build off that question a little bit, how pleased have you been with the wide receiver depth kind of behind the first 3?
Oh, it's been good. Doug has played real well. It's too bad his touch. He had a chance there, and but he made it. I thought he made the play happen, not the block in the back. But Doug has played well. Torrey, Lachlan continues. Trevor's come back-to-back games with some really outstanding catches. Tanaka Scott's been slowed. He didn't dress the first game, and we're trying to get him back in the flow. So again, he'll add to that depth. So we're going to need it. And again, just like the tight end position, when we're able to utilize a lot of guys, keep them fresh, and it just adds to the complexity of what we do. And it's great to say, because Matt was asked that question about some of those guys and the juniors and seniors, and I quickly had a flashback of 2 years ago, sitting here barely knowing the names, and we're the youngest Power 5 football team in the country. So it's great to see these guys develop. That's what this is about as well, and if we can keep some of the younger ones coming along, that stabilizes what we want to do.
Anything else for Coach?
All right.